Hey there, guys. How's it going? So great to see you. Welcome back to Breakfast All Day. I am Christy, and my fantastic friend Katie Walsh is back to scream with me. Whoa! So good to see you. I'm happy you're here. It is indeed January, and so the pickings are slim, but the big movie of the week is Scream. And so, Katie, you and I were both there at the screening. Will you please talk about it? Describe it for us.
Yes, thank you for having me back. It's so good to be back with you and with all the Breakfast All Day people. And yes, Scream is back. Ghostface is back. Sydney is back. Gail Weathers is back. Dewey is
Dewey.
back. It's a Scream movie, so it follows the conventions of a Scream movie in that there are murders in Woodsboro, and there is going to be a lot of meta commentary about the murders in Woodsboro and the media that has been made about the murders in Woodsboro. So, obviously the Stab movie franchise was established in Scream 2, which was like a way of commenting on Scream 1. And the Stab movies are they continue to resonate throughout this cinematic universe. And there is, there's a new crop of attractive teens who are going to face off with Ghostface, and the survivors will the Sydney, the Gail, the Dewey, they sort of come in and they're kind of like consultants, having one last showdown with Ghostface. But it's really interesting because the film is just as sort of meta commentary on the media as it always has been. And there are a lot of the teen characters are, connected to people who were in the original Scream movies in various ways. And one thing that I really liked is that they go into a long monologue about how the new murders and AKA the new Scream movie itself is a requel. So it's not a reboot and it's not a sequel. They're saying if you reboot totally, it's not going to work. If you just do a regular sequel, it looks like a cash grab. So you have to do this like legacy sequel thing like Halloween or Star Wars. So I really enjoy that new turn of phrase that the movie gave us.
And we see so many of those in so many franchises. Like just a couple weeks ago, we had the new Matrix.
Yes, that's
You,
totally a requel.
you and I had the great pleasure of talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Indeed, we did.
Also a requel, right?
Yep, a
And
requel.
and so yeah, so because this is a Scream movie, though, it knows it's a horror movie, and it knows that it's a horror movie, and it knows that that they know all the conventions of a horror movie. One thing that's kind of fun here is that they explore how different horror is now from when the first Scream came out in 1996. So, having said that, this is not that kind of elevated horror. This is
right.
a straight up Scream movie.
Yes, it is.
So I'm not a giant fan of this franchise, but I know enough to know all the Easter eggs and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you a big fan of Scream?
I'm a huge
Okay.
Scream fan.
Okay.
I love Scream.
Okay.
It was very influential for me as a teen. It was like probably the movie that got me into horror movies, and it was also the movie that like got me into like movie fandom in a way, because my friends and I would go to the theater and like scream and yell and stand up and shout things at the screen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my whole social life in high school, was like Scream movies and I know you did last summer movies. And so it's very near and dear to my heart. And I just rewatched the whole franchise. I actually had never seen Scream 4. So I rewatched the whole franchise and watched Scream 4. And I just have decided, you know what? I like all Scream movies. Like, they can be bad. I like them. I love the commentary. I think, the stuff that Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven did in all of those movies and like maintaining the tone and like what their function was, I think they really maintain that across the series. And because Wes Craven died in 2015, there's a new team behind this film, and it's the guys who made Ready or Not. Mm-hmm. So it's the co-writer of Ready or Not who co-wrote Scream with James Vanderbilt, who wrote Zodiac, which I'm just like, that's crazy. But and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, who made Ready or Not. And so I do think that they are the right team for this. Like, they have a visual wit and style to their slasher movies. And I think the writing was really good. I think that the one quibble I have with the film is that it's like, it feels like the attention is a little bit divided. Like, I felt like no one really got like a really big chunky fun motivation or storyline or backstory, because it was like they kind of had to focus on a lot of different people.
And they also had to focus on like the constant running self-commentary.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're down for that kind of thing, I think you'll
Right.
have a really good time, because it's constantly commenting on itself, and characters knowing that they're about to do something stupid, like, oh, you can't go down in the basement by yourself, you know,
Right.
don't do that. And this is going to sound really hypocritical and contradictory, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. But I really enjoyed the way that they did that here versus the way they did it in Ghostbusters Afterlife, for example, because yes, it is the cinema of here's a thing you know, and here's a thing you know, and here's a thing you know, down to like super arcane little nuggety Easter eggs of like, there's a character in a hospital room watching an episode of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So,
which Kevin Williamson wrote.
created. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes, it is trotting out stuff that you know, and characters and like literal sets that are the exact, like the whole first opening thing with Jenna Ortega is the exact opening of the original Scream with Drew Barrymore. But,
yes, but there are a couple, you know,
it's not
there's some little
verbatim,
twists.
though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, it is really similar, and it is commenting on itself, but it's not just doing it in a smug look, haha, fan servicey kind of way. It's really commenting on the way that the genre has evolved.
Yeah.
And there's a whole long thing toward the end about toxic fandom, which I found really daring.
Yeah.
I found really surprising that they were like willing to comment, criticize the tendency for super fans of franchises to like hold everything so dearly, like it's so precious, and not have it criticized at all and not have it changed at all. One of the jokes is that there is a stab 8. There are more stabs than there are screams, but the stab 8 was made by Rian Johnson in the movie, right? So that's a comment on the 8th Star Wars movie and how it pissed people off. So I found that, yes, they're having their cake and they're eating it too, but they're doing it in a way that's really thoughtful and really smart and actually has context and perspective and a point. Like with The Matrix, I'm not sure they had a point all the time beyond like, hey, here's a thing you know, here's like a specific little bit that you'll recognize. And
wait, Matrix or Ghostbusters?
I'm both,
or Matrix,
yeah. Both actually. That is and Ready Player One felt like that to me too. Like just like, and I get all the pop culture references, but if there's no point to them beyond like, see,
right,
then why are we here? So I realize people are going to be so mad at me because I still, to this day, Katie, I still get so much shit for our Ghostbusters review.
Oh my God. I don't tell me. I don't want
the Ghostbusters army is real.
Do not tell me, anybody. Okay. And Christy. Right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying.
Sorry.
I'm talking to other people, not you. No, but I think the difference with Scream is that they're taking the piss, right? Like they are going, we're doing it too. This is the thing that we're doing. Like they're in on it, and it's like it's not just like thing. It's got, like you said, like an extra level of commentary, and they're indicting themselves too. So it's I think it's even more self-aware than that. So I do appreciate that. I also thought Jack Quaid, speaking of the cast, like Jack Quaid totally stole it for me. He's great, top to bottom. And I really liked Melissa Barrera, who's kind of the new final girl. She's like a Ripley final girl. She is not a Sydney final girl. Like she ends up being super, physically kind of aggressive. And a lot of the kills are very, very brutal and bloody, which I enjoyed.
So I did not go back and rewatch all the Screams like you did, but this felt to me gorier than I recall the Scream movies. Yeah. I mean, like in the direction is pretty straightforward, which is pretty smart because the kills are there, the gore is there. And then like, it's so rat-a-tat with the dialogue that to also make it visually stylized might've felt kind of overwhelming. So I think like, it's not directed with a whole lot of like specific character, but it's, it does what it has to do. And I had a good time. It's a little too long. It's like all of 2 hours long. I feel like it sags a bit toward the end. But
it didn't feel long to me. But yeah, I mean, I could see how someone could think that, but I, for some reason, didn't feel long to me. And just want to drink in all that screamy goodness.
I will say also, I thought that the reunion of Courteney Cox and David Arquette was like surprisingly sweet and sensitive, because this is the first one they made.
Meta level, right? Of they met on Scream 1. They got married, they got divorced, and like Dewey and
Gail.
Gail got married, they meet in Scream 1, they get married, they get divorced. I just was like, my brain was sort of spinning
Yeah.
with all of these levels of
Right. But that
of
adds an extra level of like tension, but also sweetness, because you know what
yes.
happened behind the scenes. And so for them to be able to achieve a level of like intimacy and kindness in their scenes together. David Arquette's really good in this because
He
he's
is
not
really
trying to be
good.
funny. He's like broken down. He's a mess.
Yeah.
Gail is like, girl reporter, girl on the go as always. And Neve Campbell is always a badass, but like he gets to achieve a level of dramatic depth that I don't think we often get to see from him. And I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I thought he was great. It was nice to see him, excelling in this role one more time.
Yeah. So it was fun. I'm gonna say 7.5. What do you say?
I'm gonna say 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number is 7.3. I think you definitely
Except,
need to go ahead.
what I
Go ahead.
said, I'm gonna say 7.5 too, because
Let's
I
do it.
feel like I gave it a warmer review
Yes.
in my talking. And I did really enjoy it. And for a Scream head like me, it's a lot of fun. So 7.5.
I found myself liking it more the more I talked to you about it. Like I think I had
Okay.
more fun talking with you about it than I did actually watching it, but still I'm glad I saw it. And it's January and you could do worse than a new Scream movie. I think you definitely need to have seen the previous Screams, or at least know what the deal is to
Yeah.
truly appreciate it, because there's a lot going on here that's like deeply entrenched in the mythology of Woodsboro, California. So 7.5 is our number. Scream is only in theaters. I know that things are surging these days, so maybe you don't feel totally safe going back. But if you do, if there's a matinee that looks kind of open and you're wearing a mask and there isn't somebody munching on popcorn
Right. Sit in the
down the aisle
back,
from you.
wear your
Yeah.
N95, go at a not busy showing,
Yeah.
I think movie theater, well, everybody has their own personal
Sure.
risk calculus, and so everyone do what you feel comfortable with.
Indeed. So 7.5 for us on Scream. Katie, you're the best. You are at Tribune News Agency. You are at Katie Walsh STX on Twitter, correct?
I am
All
both of
right.
those things.
Katie's brilliant. Go read her Scream
Thank
review.
you.
Go read all her reviews. And we have more for you coming up with Alonzo. But for now, thank you for watching this video, and like it and subscribe and all that good stuff. And come find us at the places where you find people who do things. We are at BeFast All Day on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Patreon we have as well, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. This week, we're going to do our Peter Bogdanovich off the menu that you guys voted on for us to review. It is What's Up, Doc. Next week, we're going to do a Sidney Poitier off the menu. So go vote for that and join us there. You're the best. Have a great day. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.